Beautiful people, this is Jenna with the Knowing Tarot, bringing heaven to earth in you. We have 3 piles today. We're getting a message from Spirit regarding your current situation. We have 3 piles. The first one is the rose. The second one is the moon. And the third one is this water pattern. So go ahead and go with your first attraction. Pile 1, the rose. I'm using the Untitled Tarot, which is German and uses the Hebraic and alchemical roots of the philosophy undergirding tarot in its images and such. So I'm just going to start now with pile 1. Give me a moment to tune in to the frequency. Okay, the first thing that I'm really getting with this pile is a focused group. Okay, I got like a vision of people that are very driven, focused, maybe to the point that it's hard to leave things behind, unwilling to accept that certain things aren't working. It can be a stubborn spirit. I get like a very fixed feeling. Okay, so I've got the 8 of Cups in reverse, the 6 of Cups in reverse, the Hermit, and the 6 of Wands. Okay, what I'm getting from this is you're being called to go inward to find the victory that you seek. So there is a, what I'm getting is an external energy of being avoidant in relationships, but not willing to really let those relationships go. I'm seeing maybe what it is a need to walk away from something, but being unsure of what's right for you is what I'm really getting. Not having clarity about what your intuition is really saying, and because you don't have that clarity inwardly, it's manifesting outwardly as an instability in terms of a relationship ending or starting again, or a career venture ending or starting again. There's just possibly pain and loss regarding this thing that makes it hard to think about. And the thing about that is that in order to have victory, in order to make a clear decision, you have to be able to take that time to look inward and feel your feelings and feel the messages that are coming to you from Spirit within. So what I'm getting is that you're avoiding recognizing patterns. You're avoiding seeing these messages that have occurred over time. It isn't just, this isn't the first time you've been in this situation, and this isn't the first time you've needed to seek out an answer. And I think you've had a pattern of seeking out the answer with quick fixes. But what Spirit is asking you to do is to go ahead and look over the past and let yourself really absorb the lessons that you've already learned but haven't integrated fully. So with the Hermit card, I'm seeing a deep calling to go inward, and what I'm getting is like enjoy, like eat from the fruit of your past labor. Many times you might think of that as like a positive thing, like a really clearly positive thing, like getting the fruits of your labor might feel it should be like more clear. It shouldn't require more pain. Like, we've already put the work in. Why is there further work required? And that is kind of where I feel that you're at. You're like, I've already done so much. I've already been through so much. Why am I still being faced with the same crossroads, the same inner problems, the same brick wall that I keep running into? When you feel you've made so much progress, it might even feel like, why do your emotions keep tripping you up? It could be an emotional blockage, an emotional issue that's really preventing clear thought and understanding the clear way forward into like the victory. And so victory for you, I don't think is like a particular thing alone. It's a sense of well-being. And I feel like there's also an issue with feeling at peace and feeling successful in general. Like, you could have all the trappings of success and still not feel successful. And that may be the case for you, that you're unable to enjoy what's already been accomplished because of these emotional blockages and having not worked through loss and pleasure from the past, and integrating all those different experiences and feeling them and accepting them as part of who you are will bring you into a place of wholeness and an ability to really feel present in your success. I think a lot of people who work really hard for success, and they sometimes get there and they don't feel the feeling that they thought they would feel. And I think that might be the case for you too, is sort of, why aren't you feeling victorious when you may have a lot of reasons to feel victorious? It's because there's an emotional clog, and Spirit is saying, go inward and ruminate, go inward and allow the emotions and the memories to bubble up. Don't fight it, and transmute it by understanding that everything you've been through has brought you to your victory. So none of it is something to be regretted or repressed or forgotten. It's something that has a positive aspect that can be discovered, and Spirit is really encouraging you to discover that positive aspect. And by doing so, you'll see the beauty in all things, and you'll really be able to enjoy the present. So I'm going to pull an oracle card. This is Oracle of Mystical Moments. We're just going to get a card here about the way that Spirit sees you. Sometimes the way that we see ourselves is inaccurate. It's built on wounds. So we're gonna try to get a little mirror glimpse, see what happens. What does Spirit have to say about who you are and how it sees you? Okay, so yeah. We have the number 43, Secrets, and the number 20, Under My Umbrella. So I'm getting from this a few things. The numbers, first for 43, add to 7. 7 is purification, completion in a spiritual sense. It's with the card Secrets, which is these are really pretty cards. See if you can. Secrets. As you can see, she is got a ring of keys, and the moon has a lock. And I believe this is a symbol of you unlocking those emotions that are buried, and finding the magic in the process, seeing the magic in the hidden discoveries within yourself. And then we have number 20, which is Under My Umbrella. I see the 2 is the number for this card here, and what I would say is that it's got to do with balancing internal, external, spiritual, physical, emotional, mental, things like that. What I see here is Under My Umbrella. This is a card of friendship. This is a card of two very different things coming together. Two things that you may not even think need each other, right? The emotions may feel quite independent from the mind, and the mind might feel quite independent from the emotions. But the two really do guard and protect and benefit from each other in unusual ways. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. My personal readings, the info for my personal readings are available in the description box, and your interaction with me lets me know that you benefit from this and encourages me to keep on going. So I appreciate it. Furthermore, if you'd like to donate to the channel so I can get this set up or whatever, just let me know that you appreciate me. That's also an option, and that information is below as well. Okay, so please enjoy yourself, feel your feelings, don't be afraid. This is a message from Spirit. Don't let just let it out, let it be. It all is very beautiful, and you are very beautiful, and everything is working together for your good. All right? All right. Pile 2. Let's get the time on that. All right, pile 2, the moon. I immediately get like a cool sensation. All right, so thank you for clicking my channel, The Knowing Tarot, from Heaven to Earth. I hope this vibes with you. I hope I vibe with you. Remember, these are general readings. I'm reading for as many people as click on this, so keep that in mind. I try to make these as direct as I can. These are messages from Spirit, advice in your current situation. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in to pile number 2. What is the advice from Spirit about your current situation? Advice from Spirit about your current situation. I do feel like, interestingly enough, with having chosen the moon card, there is an element of mental confusion and tension. I'm feeling a tightness of the mind, like too many cards. Not feeling at peace mentally, like maybe feeling like there are a lot of expectations and pressures on you, and you're not sure how you're going to fulfill those pressures and expectations. I think that it could be, interestingly enough, like when we started, I felt a cool sensation. I think this is the advice from Spirit for you to cool down, you know. There is a need to slow your roll, slow your horses, whatever the term is there. Like, take a deep breath and maybe drink a glass of like cold water, like a big glass of cold water, and all right. Just give me a moment to absorb the energies here. It's a little bit erratic, a little bit nervous, but that's natural with anxiety. Like, that's the way it works. You don't feel like you can be present. I think you've got impulsive energies, impatient energies, a dissatisfied energy. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm seeing is to be honest, I see problems at home. I'm seeing, really what I'm feeling is in my throat chakra, even though we have no swords cards here. So we have the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, Justice, and the Four of Wands. So what I'm feeling here is something is taking too long, and you honestly just want to run in the opposite direction. There's like too much baggage is also what I'm feeling. Like you just want to cut your losses and get out of here. I think that what I'm feeling, honestly, what Spirit is saying is that you have a tendency to run from your problems. You have a tendency to run right before things change. I think that the reason you run is because if you were to push through that feeling that causes you to run, which is fear of failure, fear of letdown, disappointment, things like that, if you were to work through those feelings, you would find what you're looking for. That's what I'm seeing here, is that the tendency to run is really working against you. And it's compounding the issues that keep you in fear, keep you in an avoidant state. And I feel like you think that you're not avoidant, but in a way you definitely are, because you're avoiding this major transition that is upon you, which is a change of almost like it's like a temperament that is adjusting here. The temperament that you're used to having is, oh, this isn't working, fuck it, screw it, I'm out, bye. You can't, my way or the highway sometimes, or like an inability to really work through deep emotions and deep thoughts and deep physical problems, like when it feels like things around you aren't working out. And I'm seeing this as a home issue. I'm seeing this as issues with family, issues with the closest people to you, that they don't necessarily see things your way, or the relationship isn't growing the way that you want it to. And when you don't see that response, or that when you don't see the rewards for your efforts, you tend to give up. But Spirit is saying, don't give up. Whatever you're tempted to run from, particularly when it comes to family relationships or home life, don't run. You have the Knight of Wands. I think I already said this. So your Spirit is saying, push into it, turn around, deal with it, deal with the issue of patience is one of the biggest things, is having patience and seeing things from a new perspective, being willing to look at things from a different angle. You might be very stuck in your own ways, stuck in your own way of thinking about things, and Spirit is saying, hey, listen, I know you keep running from this fear of failure and this fear of disappointment, but by running from it, you create it. So face your fear and you'll be transformed and you'll receive what it is you've been seeking. I love that. Pretty simple message there. So I'm going to get an oracle card from the Mystical Moments, Oracle of Mystical Moments. This is how Spirit sees you. So this can really, I like doing this because usually the way we see ourselves is just not totally clearly. I heard this great story about the perfect mirror, like perfect mirrors, and how the mirrors we see of ourselves, the mirror images that we have in front of us are contorted. All right. And so when we see ourselves from a perfect mirror, it's just a different image. The way people see us is not the way we see ourselves, is my point. So the two oracle cards that we have here is, this is called a Butterfly Garden, and the Night Rider. Okay, so very, very cool. What I'm seeing is that Spirit is saying with the Butterfly Garden that you are able to see the beauty in obscure places. So you're able to you're able to look at what has happened with new eyes, and you're able to piece together experiences and memories and thoughts to create something beautiful. And so Spirit's really encouraging you to walk in that identity of the creative mind, the one who can see the potential in anything, who can see the light at the end of anything, and someone who sees the beauty in the obscurity, who sees the beauty in the mismatched. See how like she looks a little mismatchy, right? Like this doesn't belong there. This, whatever. The colors maybe don't jive the way you might like. Her hair might not, whatever the case may be, that it might seem like things are out of place, but they are not. And there's a poetry to life that this card is really, I think, encouraging you to embrace, that the things that you have been through are all part of a bigger picture and a beautiful painting, which is your life overall. So it's like, instead of seeing the whatever past things have happened as evidence working against you, or things that give you reason to run, begin to see life as and a forward unfolding. Like, things that come up are meant for you to pass through them and to see the beauty in them and to integrate them into the garden of your mind, and not to. And so when we see things like that, when we see thoughts as like flowers that we plant, or when we see our mind as a garden, we might be more intentional about what we think and how we think about it. Because if you have, say, you're a good gardener, you notice that a plant has some kind of decay, or like a bug, a mite, or problems with the soil, like, you're not going to ignore that. You're not going to run from that and expect it to change. You're going to know that as the gardener, you have a responsibility to tend to these issues. And so, spiritually saying, don't run, but tend to the garden of your mind. And then the Night Rider is saying, there's a lot of loyalty. There's a lot of endurance and perseverance in your character. And instead of feeling like frustrated with people who don't see things your way, like the elephant here blowing out the stars, see your whatever vision you might have, or the experience you have that makes you feel like, you can't work with other people. That same insight and that same wisdom really makes you an asset to that relationship, and you can be a guiding light for other people, and a safe haven and a place of safety. So when you see an issue, instead of running from it, if you really just rally support, or cultivate a sense of security in that situation, so that everybody involved can work through it, instead of just maybe jumping ship and leaving quickly. So the way that Spirit really sees you is as a guiding light for others. And I think the more you embrace that identity, the more that you'll be willing to stay through hard times. Okay, pile 3. The messages from Spirit regarding your current situation for the water pattern. Pile 3. I feel a tenderheartedness. I feel like a very sweet and sensitive spirit. A good listener, maybe sensing like an issue with asserting the self, maybe letting people walk all over you in a way, lack of boundaries a bit, but all out of a desire to really love others and care for them. That's what I'm feeling. Yeah. Give me a moment to just tune in here. I'm definitely sensing like a sensitive heart and a fear, not a fear, but like it's almost hard to speak directly to you. It's like there's a defensiveness bit about it. I think you're so sensitive that it's hard to hear things. And you might avoid those types of confrontations with others and even with yourself. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm seeing, like I feel a frustration with, it looks like a romantic situation, or it could be something that you're closely, devoted to. It's something that feels like your soul is tied to it. And you may have been feeling like you've had to accommodate this person or this situation a lot just to maintain it. And you've had to subdue a more fiery side of your personality also. There might be a pattern of doing that. And, you know, I feel that, okay, there's almost a tendency to accommodate others so much that it ends up blowing up inside of you. You feel like there's a part of you that isn't expressed, a part of you that you can't say, you can't assert your needs. You feel like you can't let your colors shine or show. There might be a lot of, like I said earlier, a lot, like I was feeling a lot of compromising and over compromising, and not really speaking your truth, not really opening up about your true needs, and maybe spending a lot of time in isolation trying to meet your own needs even. And it could be, I'm getting, for some, it could be passion, like intimacy, not feeling like your needs are being met sexually, emotionally, spiritually, and giving a lot to the other person as a way of trying to get your needs met. And I think that Spirit is really encouraging you to stop trying to juggle other people's needs, prioritize your own. And it will end up feeling like the relationship, might fall apart without your constant accommodation. But and I'm feeling a lot of tension in my neck. Like, I think that there's a lot of stress surrounding this. It's not as easy as saying, like, oh, just stop accommodating this person. It's almost like this weird feeling, like, not weird, but like your life depends on it, or it's very important to make sure this person is satisfied, to maintain balance in your life. I think that no matter how much you've given, it hasn't resulted in any sort of balance. I think it's continued to create an imbalance. So spiritually encouraging you to stop giving so much and take the space that you need, and allow that fire to kind of come up and out again in you. And learning how to peacefully assert your needs is another thing. Learning how to, I think there's a problem, like with the pain in my neck. I think there's a, I think that there's a problem with regulating emotion. So there's like this tendency for things to flare up, and then a guilt that comes afterward that creates this over accommodation and lack of boundaries, and over compromise, because you feel like you don't know how to assert your needs in a healthy way. And Spirit's really encouraging you to do that, to take time to think about what makes you feel good and what makes you feel alive, and what are your needs, and just start prioritizing those into your life. And I think that the love that you have, or that you want to have, will come into fruition once you have that love for yourself. I'm seeing a lot of neglect of the self. So we have the Two of Pentacles in reverse, the Two of Cups in reverse, the Princess of Wands in reverse, and the Four of Swords in reverse. And so what all that means is, like I've been saying, it's time to stop neglecting yourself, and it's time to stop avoiding your own passions. There's a tendency to put other people's needs before your own, and it's really hurting your relationships more than it's helping your relationships. So I'm going to get 2 oracle cards from the Oracle of Mystical Moments to express how Spirit sees you, because I believe this is very important for us to see ourselves as Spirit sees us, because we can get so caught up in the things that happen to us that we don't necessarily have a clean lens through which to see ourselves. So I'm going to get 2 cards. This one's coming out. So we have Touch the Sky. Some of you may have long hair. very romantic. I'm getting a damsel in distress feeling here too. Spirit wants you to know you're not in distress. You have all the magic within you that you need. Rose Garden. All right, so I'm going to read these from the book. I haven't gotten these yet. 32 is Touch the Sky. Lost in Thoughts, Isolation Sanctuary. And Rose Garden, which is number 9. So I'm seeing with the number 9, okay, sensitivity, awareness of nature, integrated whole, strength. So a lot of this is about exploring the mystery, which is you, and exploring the passions that you have. What's really I'm being drawn to this red flower around her heart, and the butterfly. There's a transformation that's occurring as you begin to acknowledge and embrace your passions. And the Lost in the Sky is really encouraging you to take time to be imaginative. This is a card that sees you as a contemplative, sweet and tender, reclused person. You enjoy your alone. You do like to be alone, I think. And you might be, the colors here are very like coastal and sort of pilgrimy is the feeling I'm getting. So it's like you have very simple needs possibly, or you enjoy the simple things, and you see the beauty in little things. So with the Rose Garden, I'm seeing, as you look at these two cards, they're sort of contrasting, right? Just like you have this sweet disposition, but you have an inner passion. You have something that might contradict the way others have seen you to this day, to date. And Spirit is really encouraging you to come to integrate the docile persona with the more fiery aspects of desire, need, passion, hunger, want, maybe more egoic drives. And the ego is not all bad, but, it's encouraging you to acknowledge that you're not just sweet and docile, you are also passionate and zealous and have creativity and bizarre qualities and, unique needs that deserve and are designed to be met. And that's all I have for you. If this has helped you, please let me know. Comment, like, share, subscribe. I really appreciate being able to speak into your life this way, and I hope that it has blessed you as much as it has blessed me. Until next time.